Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. Ah, it is hot in the high desert. Like, seriously, we have a heat warning going on. This has just been a really challenging couple of days for me. Like, that's the sweetest way I can put it. So I just wanted to check in with you guys because, oh my. First, I was thinking, okay, on Friday, I went to Magic Mountain and I did a video on that, and it was unbelievable and not in a really good way. Okay. So then yesterday, I didn't make a video because I'm kind of giving myself permission not to if things are too crazy. And yesterday was crazy. So I was still exhausted from Magic Mountain, and I had agreed that I was going to support family on various things. So for Magic Mountain, it was like 230 miles, about 230 miles that day of driving. And it was just like really crazy. Well, yesterday, I did not expect to exceed it. So yesterday was 310 miles of driving, right? Crazy. But it was grace. It was total grace because my intention was to serve my family and, to just be available to family. And so that's what I did. I was super blessed. I got to go see my nephew, Dean. And if you know my story on that, Dean is the one who had OD'd on Super Bowl Sunday a year ago. And praise God, he lived through it. But it's been a long road. So it was really fantastic. My sister Cynthia and I look a lot alike, like ridiculously alike. So they used to have these commercials when I was little called the Double Mint Twins. It was for Double Mint gum. And they'd have these Double Mint twins. Well, that's kind of how Cynthia and I are together. She cared for me. I mean, my mother was very much available, but Cynthia was about 7 when I was born, and she just wanted me to be her little baby. And so she took me everywhere, and she and her friends changed me and dressed me up and changed my diapers and everything. And we look a lot alike. So I think Dean was kind of seeing double. But it was really great to visit with him. And he had a ton of great memory, like examples of memory. Like, we were talking about pizza, and he remembered the pizza place, at home. And he remembered that, the person who they mentioned didn't work there anymore. And we talked about hotels because his brother was flying in with his wife. And Dean mentioned Best Western, where they used to stay at a hotel when he was little. Like, a lot of things came to mind, He kept saying, "I love you, Mom," which Cynthia was desperately in need of hearing. So anyway, he was a joy. But I just did a lot of driving, and I was as lovely as I could be. It was just an interesting day. One of my nieces showed up with her husband and 2 little kids at my mother's house, which I made it over to my mother's house. And it was just kind of one thing after another. And finally, by about 6:15, and I'd left at 7:30 that morning and literally did not stop. I said I had to get home because I was going to, want to be with my husband and help care for the animals and everything before dark. And so I booked it up the hill. And it did work out, but I was crazy tired. And then today was Sunday. And Sundays are just busy food prep days, laundry, caring for the animals, doing my lesson plans for the week, like all the things. And so I certainly didn't get to sleep in per se or do anything like that. So I promised myself I would be in bed by 10. And it is absolutely my intention to be in bed by 10. I need to change something in my life, people. And of course, part of me is like, well, you can just let Jules Blessed Vegan go. This place makes me happy. Like, this is a chance for me to be creative and to tap in with people, And so, no, there's got to be other things. But the idea of getting up at 4 in the morning and supposedly getting things done before life asks things of me, it's a good one, but it's a tough one. I'll have to keep praying. Okay, anyway. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the benefits and kind of the pros and cons of having a YouTube channel. So one of the pros for sure is that I can pretty much share any content I want. Pretty much. Okay? And I will have to say, I recently got a notice from YouTube saying that I wasn't allowed to have any sexual content. It was inappropriate content, and that they were pulling one of my videos as a result. Well, of course, I had to laugh and just say, oh, pray tell, what video of mine had porn or sex? You're kidding, right? So it turned out that the one that I just made recently, that was on, let me try and think of how that was worded. Darn, it wasn't favoring skinny people. That's funny. It wasn't favoring skinny people. It wasn't the benefits of skinny people. It was the privilege. Yeah. The one that said the privilege of skinny people. And that basically skinny people are sort of privileged in the sense that their clothes don't cost more because of the XL, etc. And that they're able to fit in between the rows in restaurants and things the way heavier people can't, and all those kind of things. Anyway, so they thought that there was inappropriate content, and they said that I could challenge it. So I did challenge them back and said, seriously? That's an article from Good Housekeeping. Good luck finding something inappropriate in the content of that article. And you guys aren't being fair. And so they just wrote me back saying that I won the dispute and that they were going to restore my video. Hey, when you get as few views as I do, you can't afford to lose a video, okay? Anyway, incredible. So that is definitely a con, where those who really are producing inappropriate content do not get picked, and those who don't do. Yeah, that was definitely a con. What other cons would there be? I mean, at the level that I use YouTube, I don't have much. There's not much. Maybe that you have to have 1,000 hits before you matter. Forgive me, 1,000 subscriptions. Yeah, you have to have at least 1,000 followers before you get certain benefits, right? But it's just for fun anyway. I was thinking, it's always kind of a conflict in my heart, because when I first started this, and again, if you don't know Tammy Raw, look her up on any social media platform for health. But I was in what's called the Raw Reset, and you can look that up in the search. So Tammy Raw Reset under JulesBlessedVegan. I did a really good video all about that. But anyway, when I was in my first reset 3 years ago, it'll be 3 years ago in July, Tammy had said that everybody has a story to tell. And she recommended that people tell their story and to just go ahead and join Instagram and share your stuff and make a YouTube channel. And I was like, I know I have a story. I just don't know, like, in what direction I'll go, to what extent I want to share in terms of how personal it is. I did make 2 videos that offended people. One of them was referencing one of my daughter-in-laws, and that was very unfortunate because I just wasn't really thinking on how it might affect her for what I said. And I wasn't specific on like which daughter-in-law, which grandkids or anything, but she knew. And that really hurt her. And I removed that video. I was sorry for that. And then the other one, a couple years ago, I was referring to a student. And it didn't occur to me that students would actually be listening to my videos because it was under JulesBlessedVegan and not Juliana McCants. But If you look up Juliana McCants, they both come up. And I've since changed it to age 18 and over and, tried to limit the content or whatever. But at the time, I didn't know. And even though what I said wasn't specific, I didn't say my school, I didn't say the kid's name or anything, children recognize the story. And I was lucky the district didn't let me go over that. Like, seriously, they made me remove the video. They made me, ensure that students would not have access anymore. There was no consequence for the kids, though. The fact that they're well under 13 years old and that YouTube and Facebook have to be at least 13 years old. There was no conflict or controversy regarding them. And I didn't think that was fair. But anyway, so those are just a couple of snags I've ran into. But overall, I think it's very cool. I do have a Juliana McCants page with different student content, videos and things with students in it. So that's the one I thought that they'd be on. But of course, it's always so much more exciting to go to the forbidden zone. Right? Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to check in with you guys. I'm tired, and that's okay. I am food prepping to have a successful week. Yay, God. I am doing summer school, so I got to get my head around that. And I'm just doing it. I'm just doing it. All right, my friends, if you like, join us if you haven't subscribed. Let me know in the comments below. Do you have a YouTube channel? Can you relate to the nonsense and the blessing? Have you thought of making yourself one? I see a lot of people do have channels but no videos on them. When someone wants to friend me and I see that they don't have any content, I kind of hesitate a little because I'm like, is this a fake site? And are you just a predator? I have to watch stuff like that. But I do understand. I mean, I hit the 1,000 video mark. It'd be a good time to retire. Oh my gosh, that comes to mind. Hey, you did one thing 1,000 times. Retire and go on to your next thing. But no, I still have a story to tell. All right. If you like, join us. If you haven't subscribed, let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that I'm going to bed by 10 o'clock. And therefore, I'm blessed and you're blessed.